Happy Monday, Stampers! Excited for another week to begin. I have two things to share with you today. One is the box from my paper pumpkin, which arrived. And we are going to do a paper pumpkin project this morning, one straight from the kit. And then also a paper pumpkin alternate project idea to give you some ideas on, first of all, how to use what's in your kit. Hi, Cindy. Morning, Sue. Hi, Lean, Trish. So to give you some ideas on what to do with the things that are in your kit. But then also to, if you are sad because you've missed out on this kit, to give you some ideas of how you can kind of recreate the look. And then if you have both, you can mix and match and so forth. So never fear. But then I got a note as I was getting ready for this morning that said, you have a package on your porch. And I was kind of excited to go check it out. So here's the box that came like this. And when I opened it up, there was inside an absolutely amazingly beautiful bouquet with this fabulous wrapping from Farm Girl Flowers, which is available online. So I'll give a little commercial for them. But these are flowers that were sent to me by my very dear friend Kim Peck. She is also the person who I signed up with when I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So she's my upline. And my friend and an amazing person, and she wanted to send these to me to congratulate on my $800,000 career sales milestone, which I crossed over last month. So anyway, I thought I'd share these gorgeous flowers with you this morning, and I absolutely love the chance to support small businesses and the chance to, to do some little advertising for somebody who's clearly really, really good at what they're doing. So anyway, I will put these in water a little bit later, but I wanted to get ready to show you some things this morning. So are you guys ready to stamp? Thanks, Tanya. All right, let me get this turned off here and get you guys, looking at the top of my fuzzy. But anyway, well, that was an exciting start to our Monday morning. So give everybody a second to catch on here and find us. And I can see my own computer hasn't found me yet, so we'll kind of wait for it to kind of catch up. Let's see. Okay. Whew, that was weird. Okay, you guys are back. Hi, Kathy, Elaine, and Trish. Sorry about that. I dropped my phone out of my holder, and for whatever reason, it just jumped. So let's see. All right, I'm live now again. Okay, there we go. All right, hello again. Hey, Gian. All right, okay, so we're gonna bring you guys down here for some looks at our paper pumpkin kits. So let me get this out of the way for the moment and bring this in. So I know some people around the country have gotten their paper pumpkin kits. Some people haven't yet. But whether you got this kit or not, I'm going to give you some different card ideas to sort of make the most of it. And you will be interested to see how the pieces go together if you have the kit, and how you can kind of recreate the look if you don't. So first in the kit this month was a little note about the Flower and Field Designer Series paper and how well it coordinates with this set. So you can check this out, and I'll talk a little bit more about Celebration, which you have just a couple days left to do. And it had a little note about the March Paper Pumpkin Kit, which if you aren't a Paper Pumpkin subscriber yet, you're going to want to get it. And if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you're going to be excited to have that kit coming and make sure your stuff's current. So here are the 3 projects for this month. And we are going to make this one out here, but I'll show you kind of the pieces for the others. And Paper Pumpkin always has some directions inside it. And then in the box are dimensionals, ink, the stamp set, which I've already taken out too. Here's the stamp set. I just put this paper behind so you can see it has some greetings in it, and this cute, pretty bouquet, which goes with our theme for this morning. And then these little flower pieces here. And then there are some sequins, some string, which is around here somewhere. The envelopes have this nice, pretty paper inside them, which I always like. And then, Carol's already finished hers. Good job. 3 languages worth of the inserts for this. So, Je pense de toi, thinking of you, and Ich spreche Deutsch nicht. So this, I'm sure, says the same thing in German. It has these pretty gold foil doilies, which we're going to use in our alternate project. So I'm going to give you some tips there. And then 3 different card bases, this pretty vellum frame, some pieces of coordinating. And you can see that you can use these flower pieces anywhere. Any of these bases would be pretty with them, along with the other parts, or you can do them as they're kind of designed. And then there's a sheet of greetings, which I've already taken out because we're going to use those to recreate our official card. So, all right, let's see. Trish says, love the bouquet stamp. Yes, I know. That just was kind of a perfect deal. So I was really excited. You know what? It's in spite of having to restart our video in the middle, it starts off to be a great day. So, all right, so this project, I'm going to kind of keep handy my little cheat sheet here with a picture on it. Let's see, can you guys see that kind of? Actually, why don't I put it on this side and you'll be able to see it better. All right, so really simple. A couple tips for working with your frames. I always say that I find it easiest not to take my labels out, and I'm going to go ahead and use this instead of the Mossy Meadow, but the Mossy Meadow is really pretty with this too, so I'll always be here for you. I just find that it's easiest to hit the spots on my greeting strips when they're still in the paper, when they're not just little tiny slips. So those, this is going to go onto our card. We have a card base. I love that they're printed on the front and white in the middle. And then all these pieces are just easily removed from their little backing paper. And these little flowers here, I think you would save and use for this thinking of you. But we're going to use the large bouquet. And so I'll set this back aside. And then this is going to go here. So we're going to start to assemble these pieces like this. I would put dimensionals underneath some parts of it. Let's see. Did I get my adhesive out this morning? Main things that I forget, right? So I'm going to, I got so excited about the flowers and the paper pumpkin kit that I kind of forgot about that. All right, so I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to pop a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals here on the back of the floral. I'm going to add a couple dimensionals on the back of our greeting. And this is a great card of support for all kinds of purposes. So sympathy cards, or thinking of you, or get well soon, or whatever you might need. This card is a great chance to reach out and let someone know that you're thinking of them. So you can send flowers on a card if you're not sending flowers in the mail. And then it has these self-adhesive sequins, which I talk about all the time. These you can get not in this black color, but in other colors as part of the Artistry Bloom sequin. So they're available as part of the regular catalog. Now, let me talk a minute about paper pumpkin refills. So if you are looking for the consumables, so it would be the paper supplies, the sequins, the envelopes, those things. Those are often available as part of a refill kit. And so those are usually available, they might be available starting today or tomorrow, actually. I would start checking the Stampin' Up! Store for those. And there's a link in the description to paper pumpkin information, so you can check that on my in the video description here. But they are available kind of while supplies last, and there's also some past refills available for past kits too. So those are really neat. The stamps and the ink, those come if you are a subscriber. So for next month, I think you're going to want to be a subscriber for March. So if you haven't done that yet, you can take care of that. And at the to help you, I have this handy little chart. And oops, I just realized that this is borrowed here. And actually, well, okay, I won't show you that. Let's see. So we, let's see. All right. Okay. So this is what I'm going to show you on here. I didn't want to confuse you with the other stuff. So there are subscriptions that you can get. 1 month is going to be this first row, a 3 month, a 6 month, or a 12 month if you want a prepaid code. So you go to my online store, you buy your prepaid code. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because during celebration, you still have a few days left. If you get a 3 month kit, let's see, this is a 1 month kit. This is a 3 month kit, 6 month, 12 month. You can get celebration items with them. So your celebration items ship right away, and then your code comes to you in email and you set it up on the website. There's very detailed information about this on my website at LovenStamps, and link is in the video description. Okay, let's get back to stamping. The next thing I want to show you is an alternate idea. So I am extremely taken with this pretty card here. This is the Mary Merlot card version, and it has these pretty flowers on it, which I'm sure you can see nicely. And I really wanted to use the foiled doily piece here, but as I was looking at this, I wasn't in love with the way the gold went with the card that I had envisioned. And so I decided that I would flip this over and I can put it in the middle. We'll kind of hold that thought, but we might do something a little different. Hint, hint, we are doing something different. Here's the version of the card that's in the paper pumpkin as suggested. So we're gonna kind of change things up from there. So to do this card, I'm going to bring in the stamp from the paper pumpkin set. And this stamp is very similar to the wrapped bouquet, which is that newsprint stamp from the regular catalog, or from the mini catalog, the January through June mini catalog. So really pretty. But one of the things I love about this particular image is that it is super easy to color. And so I'm gonna bring in some Stampin' Blends, and the links for these are in the description too. But I'm gonna give you sort of my quick coloring on these, and it's actually gonna be even quicker than my usual. So I've got petal pink here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the petal pink parts first. And I'm gonna do all these little tiny flowers, the centers here. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because sometimes if I overlap the darker color, it's a little bit tricky to go back and remove that. There is a color, sort of a bleach pen version that you can sort of lighten things, but it's hard to get it out all the way. So I like to fill in sometimes the lightest parts first, so that I don't have to worry about accidentally overlapping them. There we go. So I think I did all those little flowers. Now I'm gonna go back with my light cherry cobbler and color around the edge. So remember, first step when I use Stampin' Blends, my first step is always to do a light color first, light color wash first. And I'm just gonna go around these 3 big rose looking images. And there's something kind of nice and zen about coloring this. Put a little thought and love in for the person who's gonna be receiving this card. And then I'm gonna go back with my dark cherry cobbler, and let's see if I can, without losing my camera again, I'm gonna go around and I'm going to go just a little bit in the center, and then I'm gonna kind of color behind each petal. So if you picture each petal on the card there, I'm going underneath, or where the shadow is created around the edge of each petal. Okay, so same thing here. So basically I find a petal and then look at what's sitting behind it, okay? And that's where I'm gonna put my shadow line. All right, and then one more. Now usually I go back and do a 3rd step and do a blend line between, oops, there we go. Do a blend line, but you know what? I'm really not gonna bother here because this is such a small image that there's not a ton of space there to be doing the difference. Oh, I think I meant to do this with the light one, but that's okay too. To be doing the difference between the light and the dark. So I'm just gonna leave it that way. Okay, all right, so now we have our cherry cobbler done. We have our petal pink on. I'm gonna take some Rococo Rose and do our daisy flowers here just to give another color. And Rococo Rose is a wonderful, wonderful match for the cherry cobbler blend. So if you're looking at pinks and reds to go together, I highly recommend this one to go along with the cherry cobbler there, okay? All right, now in our color spectrum, we are going to add now some soft seafoam, and I'm just gonna use the darker. And even though there's not a dimension for each of these stems, like the stems are only a line wide, I'm gonna color around them because they have sort of that impression of color, okay? So I'm gonna color a little bit in the background, I'm gonna color these leaves, and then because we've added just a little bit of dimension to our flowers, I'm gonna go back and add a little bit of dimension to our leaves too, and I'm going to show you that. So I'm using the darker of the soft seafoam here because we need some depth of color to match our cherry cobbler. Oops, oh well, it's a leaf now. It was supposed to be a flower. So to add that dimension of color, I'm going to go to Mossy Meadow, which is the green that's included with the paper pumpkin kit, and I'm going to use my light paper or my light marker, and I'm going to color just a little bit at the base of the larger leaves, okay? And the place sort of where they connect to the stems or are layered behind the flowers. Let's see. Okay. All right. So that just gives us just a little bit more, put a little dot at the bottom of these, a little dot of dimension on our leaves to complement our flowers. Okay. So pretty quick way to add some color to these. And like I said, I really like this. Oh, I just saw in the comments, Carol said she, when she did these cards, okay, try not to drop my camera again. When she did these cards, she cut her doilies in half to make 2 cards. That's like a sneak peek of what I'm thinking, Carol. Great minds, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and you'll notice me kind of speed cutting, but I'm also using my tips from cutting that we talked about last week. So keep your scissors in one place the whole time and use your other hand to move that cardstock around, okay? So you see my scissors pretty much never move, and try to take long cuts so that you get a nice, smooth, continuous line. All right, okay, nice match. And to go with this, I want to add in a greeting. So I have a Rococo Rose here, which I've punched with my 1.5 inch circle punch, which if you guys know from watching it all, you know that that's one of my favorites. And I'm gonna grab my Mary Merlot pad and add here, this stamp says, "So sorry for your loss." I'm going to make this a sympathy card. And I like the muted colors. I like the softness of it. I just didn't quite love the gold, although it is really striking. I like the muted tones here with the white a little bit better. So, okay, so now I could put this right in the middle. Actually, I mean, I kind of like that. Well, when I planned this card, I didn't plan to put it there in the middle. You know what? We are gonna move it to the side, so I'll show you why. Because I want to add in with this card some of the twine that's included with the paper pumpkin kit. And if I put this over on the side, then I can tie my twine so that the bow goes here, and then our focal point kind of is here off to the side. So I'm gonna bring in my trimmer, and let's see. I'm going to chop off, I don't know, some of this. How's that for an exact measurement? I'm gonna cut off maybe about 1.5 inches of it. And so what I'm trying to do now is make this kind of straight across so that it will have sort of a straight up and down there. Now, this piece right here is certainly good to use for another project, so I'm gonna pop that back in my kit so that I have it for later. And then I'm gonna bring my doily back in here and set this kind of like so. Now, the doily and the white background here are pretty together, but I don't really love how the flowers are getting lost around the edges. So what I'm gonna do is bring in my Rococo Rose and my absolute favorite circle punch, the 2 1/4, and give us a circle that's going to help us anchor this bouquet. So it's going to pop behind here just a little bit to give us just a little bit of extra presence for our bouquet so that it's separated from the doily, just a nice tiny bit. Okay, see how that goes? All right, and then I want to add my string. So I'm going to show you a trick for string. I think whenever I have a class and we tie string around things, people always struggle getting it tight, or they don't like how it finishes because it just doesn't look quite tight enough for them, and then it's loopy and saggy, and we don't want saggy ribbons. There are no saggy ribbons on cards. So I'm going to show you a trick for doing this. So I'm not going to pre-cut my twine. I'm just going to go ahead and tie it on here, and I'm not going to worry too much about how tight it is. I am going to cinch down the ends of my bow because that I always think that small bow loops kind of make something look a little bit neater and a little bit more in scale. Okay, so you see how this is kind of rolling all over the place. It's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is kind of get my bow fashioned where I want it, and I'm going to pop a Stampin' Dimensional on over here where I know it's going to be hidden, okay? And then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to pull all of the slack around to the front side. So now I have all of the slack. This is nice and snug over here. All of the slack pulled into this space right here. And I'm going to pop another Stampin' Dimensional on like so to hold that slack in place. So now we have a nicely tied taut ribbon and a place where we can hide our little method for doing that. So I'm going to pop, let's see, another dimensional on up here and stick this back onto our card, okay? And we're not going to worry too much about these showing because they're going to get covered up by the rest of our card pieces here. All right, so then this bouquet is going to go on like so, and our So Very Sorry for Your Loss is going to go on. Now, we're getting pretty thick here, so I'm going to go ahead and make things a little bit flatter than I might otherwise. So this is going to go here. I feel like I need a dimensional underneath our bouquet just to separate it from the stuff underneath. And then I'm going to pop one on here so that our greeting isn't totally sideways. Oh, I stamped on both sides of that. Okay, so our greeting doesn't get lopsided. I'm going to pop this on like that. All right, so now we have a really kind of nicely balanced card here with our bow nice and tight and our bouquet and our greeting. And included in the stamp set, if you have the paper pumpkin coming or you have it already, is a really nice set of words: sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you, and wishing I could be there to hold your hand. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on the inside. Now, it's always dangerous to stamp on the inside of a finished card. If something terrible happens and it doesn't stamp the way you want, never fear. You can always cut an extra card layer to go on the inside, so you don't have to panic too much. That seemed to go pretty well. So there's our card, and I might find an envelope. Let's see which envelope goes the best. I would say either the pink or the pink one is really pretty, but the Mossy Meadow one is actually really nice with that. So I think these two are going to go together. So that is a kind of a fun example of an alternate project using the paper pumpkin pieces that are in your kit. So the other card that I thought of for this and is the card that is this example here is the Rococo Rose background with this overlay. And the same thing goes for this. So you could definitely use the gold for this if you want to. Here's how this would look on your card. But don't forget that if you flip it over, then you have kind of a nice softer, subtle look on silver on the back. And you could certainly do something really similar here with the bouquet and the Rococo Rose on this card back. So, all right, yeah, and as Carol says, you could cut the vellum. You could cut it in half like this and have it kind of come off from the bottom, or you could cut it from the side, or you could just go ahead and use the whole piece on the card the way they kind of designed it. Whatever works for you. Now, what if you want to do this card, but you don't have the stamp, so you have the refill? let's talk a little bit about that. So another way to design this card is to use the art gallery stamp set. I think this is a really nice match for the feel of this Bouquet of Hope stamp set. So actually, I mean, Fine Art Floral is the suite, and the art gallery stamp set, I'm going to pop on the floral here. So this stamp is nice and flexible, and what I love about it being photopolymer, I think our internet is a little freezy this morning. Sorry, guys. What I love about this is that with photopolymer, you can see what you're inking. So I'm going to look at what I'm doing and go ahead and ink this through the top, okay? So now I know I've got a good amount of ink on there. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp off once because I don't really want the full strength of the Mary Merlot in the background. And then I'm gonna grab my Mossy Meadow. Whew, am I back, Sue? Yeah, I kind of froze for a second. Oh, I forgot. Remember, with photopolymer, you want to ink it this direction so you can actually see what you're doing. Ding, ding, ding. So much nicer. Okay, so I'm just sort of rocking the stamp there so that I have that nice, nice dark Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on here. And you can see how I have a lighter version of the Mary Merlot. I'm going to bring this back in here and stamp with this art gallery floral on the second layer. So it comes out just like that. And you know what the great thing about this is? Because there's a die set to go with it, I do not have to fussy cut it. So I would take the die from the set and pop it over here and run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and ta-da, through the magic of television, I have my floral cut out. So really simple. And then honestly, I think I would give this a really similar treatment. So I grabbed my Rococo Rose again and my favorite circle punch and pop this here underneath, and grab my smaller circle punch, my 1.5, and add my greeting and pop this under here. And then I think I might swap the sides on this. Let's see, maybe we'd do it over here. And then, I don't know, add the twine or not add the twine. It needs some kind of horizontal element. So I might come back with a little piece of Mary Merlot cardstock or something like that to just sort of bring an element across here. Actually, I kind of like that idea. Let me grab that. This is what happens when you design on the fly, right? So I have a little bit of Mary Merlot, or even a piece of Mary Merlot Designer Series paper. That would be really pretty across there. So let's see. Didn't know this was going to turn into a reality crafting episode today. So that's what our bonus here at the end of reality crafting. All right. And then I'm gonna make this banner end. So I'm just gonna clip the ends of this with a little ribbon. Okay, there we go. And pop this kind of up here underneath. All right, so now we have to decide, do we leave it like this, or do I take our element and flip it over and do it on the gold side? I don't know. I'm kind of fond of the not gold side personally. Let's see, but I know our hive mind sometimes feels differently. So, all right, well, I'll keep working on this and figure out exactly how I want to finish it. But I'm gonna flip you guys back up here and just say thanks for bearing with me this morning and through our 2 videos. So if you're watching later, I might have to put these together. I'll probably stick them together as one video on YouTube. So if you're like, what? It didn't start over? What are you talking about? Let's see. And Sandy says she's late. She has 3rd grade. Oh, yeah, it's hard to be on Facebook when you're at school. So, all right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and I hope that you are excited about our paper pumpkin kit and some pretty alternative projects too. So I'm pretty excited about the way this one turned out, and I definitely can see myself using this bouquet stamp quite a bit. This is a really pretty card and definitely conveys the message, right, that's in our heart that we want to share with somebody. Anyway, Thanks for watching this morning, and when your paper pumpkin kit comes, if it hasn't arrived already, you will want to pull that out and get some cards made. So, and if you don't have paper pumpkin yet, you can watch, the refills are available for paper pumpkin subscribers. So if you really love the pieces in this card and you think you're going to want those as part of the refill, make sure you subscribe to get the March kit. And then as a subscriber, the option to purchase the refills will be available to you in my online store. So if you have trouble getting that to work, just let me know. I'm happy to help you. It might have to do with like a different email address on your 2 different accounts and so forth. We'll sort it out, no worries. But in any case, I hope your day, your Monday is a good one and that you have a chance to do something creative. And thanks again for joining us for Maker Morning with Meg video. So happy stamping, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.